I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that...
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Saturday, September 6th races at Hastings. We do have 7 races on tap to kick off the Saturday-Sunday weekend. We're back on the Saturday-Sunday schedule for a while. Of course, next weekend will be BC Derby and BC Oaks. I think we have the Randall Plate and Delta Colleen. So 4 big stakes races next weekend. No stakes on this weekend's program. But still,
and in between the sale.
Yes, and of course, and previewing the sale, of course, it's on Tuesday, September the 9th at 2 o'clock. We do have 95 going up for auction, and should be a lot of fun. Always the stars of tomorrow will be showcased. And the stars of today were showcased
in the sales stakes
on Labor Day, on the Labor Day program.
There's 2 on the Monday card, or 4 races, sorry, on the Monday card. Yep. There was one for the 2-year-old boys and girls,
yep.
3-year-old boys and girls. We're going to take a look at the first race, which was the 2-year-old boys category. The one to keep an eye on here, number 4, Lord Rosberg.
Yeah, he broke well.
Breaks well under Richard Hamill. Pretty much in control.
Never
the whole
threatened.
time. Definitely the most impressive winner of the day, and Richard Hamill had a very good day, winning 3 of these races. This was the first one, 2-5, and deserved to be that way.
Yeah, he pretty much got the lead very easy. 22-4 is a very soft opening quarter. He'd been so impressive in breaking his maiden for Pat Jarvis, and really the fractions were comfortable here. Jacques Pot's currently sitting in second, Mo Can Do It's third, but still no. And Forestry's Devil's making a bit of a run 3 wide there, but still no pressure. It's a very comfortable opening half mile for Lord Rosberg, and when you give the best horse in the race, or look on paper the best horse in the race, easy fractions, you know what's going to happen. And he ended up drawing away and looking like a smart colt. And
pretty much foregone conclusion from here on in. Yeah, he just gets further away from him.
Look at this. He draws away nicely. And next stop, Jack Diamond Futurity for Lord Rosberg.
Could not have been more impressive.
No, he looked great and drawing away. And there's Forestry's Devil digging in for second. And
yeah.
Good battle for third, but still no match. 1:11-2, final time 18-2, and very good. Congratulations to Richard Hamill.
And of course Pat Jarvis.
Of course, but yes, excellent. The connections of Lord Rosberg, very impressive. Again, back-to-back wins, and he probably stamps himself as, it's going to be a tough futurity, but still, I got to think he's going to be the top or second choice. So it'll be interesting,
especially off that performance. It was a restricted stake, but the way
that helped them. But it still was, and that's the best part. It was an easy race. He didn't exhaust himself. Yeah. He's got lots left in the tank when they run back on the 21st. And here's the filly division.
This is when it's the 6th race. Horses to keep a look at here. Obviously, Finale's Charmer. The 1 and the 4 Quatre Cat. They're the 2 favorites coming into this race, and
they were only nose apart last time.
Yeah, and Quatre Cat gets a very rough start. She ends up at the back of the pack there.
The 2 Craig McPherson runners are on the lead. Finality's Charmer and the horse coming in, the Scat horse.
Soaring Past?
Yeah. No, Splendid Scat. The Scat horse. 22-1. They went pretty quick, and but Finale's Charmer got a pretty comfortable second quarter, which really helped her
He gets away from the pressure here, too, so that always makes it a little bit easier on a filly without the pressure.
Patty Leaney's nicely bred runner was laying third. She'd been laying down some very quick works in the morning, and here comes Quatre Cat out 3 deep. But Finale's Charmer really had a nice little breather under Richard Hamill here, and Quatre Cat is making a good run, but 46-3. They went 24-2 in the back starts. That's a very dawdling second quarter, and Quatre Cat just made no impression on Finality's Charmer at all. You could just see here it's not even going to be a race. It's Finality's Charmer still had tons left, and they were well clear. Yeah, they were well clear of the field, especially Finality's Charmer. Yeah. But congratulations to the Shaws, Norma and Leo, who continue to support the sale, and I'm sure they'll be there on Tuesday with their checkbook, and always spend lots of money, which is great because that needs to happen at the sale. You need to keep the breeders in business, and they're breeding some very nice horses. Not as many as they used to, but still very quality horses. And
they're getting rewarded for the money they spend. They're getting
they're getting nice horses, the Shaws. Yes, but congratulations, nice. Obviously, a great day for Craig McPherson and Richard Hamill.
Richard Hamill didn't have a bad day himself.
No, he had a great day. Okay, on to the Saturday program. We'll take a peek at the opener. A field of 5 $16,000 claimers, and I think everyone in here, all the 5 combatants, are very and delighted to see that Hidden Harbor went in the last filly and mare allowance race and is not in the 16,000 claimer, so it'll come up a lot easier. I'm going to go to the 4-horse here, Lady Henrietta. I'm going to try this one to defeat Kyrie's Gal is the horse to beat. Yep. No doubt, hands down, speed of the race, likely the best horse. But if Lady Henrietta can stay within a length and a half of her at the 8th pole, and then I think she might be able to run her down, because Kyrie's Gal isn't known for her ability to finish races, even though she did it quite nicely last time, but did get some comfortable fractions, which she will likely get again. But Lady Henrietta, easier assignment for her down for 16th. That's the easiest horse that she's faced. Amadeo Perez will take a leg up for the hot trainer, Sylvia Gregory. I went 4-3, and then I put the 5-horse Closing Intentions in for 3rd. I went 4-3. I think it's 3-4 or 4-3, but I went 4-3-5.
I don't have much to add, Mike. I see it the same way as you. Lady Henrietta's been tackling much tougher. Only got beat 5.5 last time by Madeira Park and that Trelawney and Pretty Reckless race.
It didn't get a great trip either. I mean,
no.
She was out wide, and it wasn't a great trip.
Yeah, it was. It didn't exactly go her way, and they were much tougher mares, obviously. She hasn't faced this kind in, some time. She's always ran much higher. So to drop down for here, I see her as a horse to beat. As you mentioned, though, Kyrie's Gal is going to be tough to catch, but I'm betting that she'll do it under leading rider Amadeo Perez. And I threw Closing Intentions in for 3rd. She looks like the 3rd best in here for me. But 4-3, 3-4.
This horse has run well for Richard too. Closing Intentions. If you look back on form, Richard seems to get the most out of Closing Intentions.
Gets a lot out
but
of
this
her.
Filly still needs to improve, I think, to defeat the top 2.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. I went 4, 3, and 5 in the first. On the second, Fillies and Mares. $4,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 lifetime. And I've gone to a horse making her return to Hastings Park, now trained by Anita Bolton. I Want a Duster, former stakes winner here at Hastings. Another one that was favored last out at Northlands Park for $8,000 and didn't really seem like her day, but now switching to a new barn, switching to Anita Bolton, has done well with these horses of Nick and Pauline Felicellas that have been relocated to Anita. And she gets leading rider Amadeo Perez. I Want a Duster in here. It's not an overly tough spot for her. I think she can get the money. The second spot, I went to the 6, Find Your Beach, a smart win in the non-2 last time. Rachel Runn came back out of that race and won, so that race has a little bit of legitimacy. It wasn't an overly tough race. Amadeo Perez does gravitate towards I Want a Duster, but obviously no slouch picking up Richard Hamill. Nothing wrong with that. And the third spot, I went with Kula Kid, a filly that has quite a bit of speed. If she shakes loose, she can be dangerous. I got her in the 3rd spot. I liked her the best out of the rest. I went 4, 6, and 5.
Yeah, I'm going to try the 2-horse, Drew.
I know, I looked at that, the Spirit. Yeah.
This horse was dropped last time. Didn't get covered up early and didn't get the best of trips. And I just think this horse has more to show than that race indicates. It was off 5 weeks. Going to be off 5 weeks again. That's the unfortunate part. But the one work was all right, and the barn's been going great guns all year long. And I just think this is the right spot for That's the Spirit. She's the sprinter. She's beaten a lot of these horses in the past. And in good time, she's won at higher claiming levels, and I'm going to try her to win it, hopefully to rebound. Maybe take the trip in behind the 5, the Kula Kid, and the 6, Find Your Beach, who should be the speed of the race. And I think she's going to take the pocket in behind them. But she's got good speed, and she might be able, if they're going too slow, she might be able to go out and get to the top. So I like her. I put I Want a Duster, who's obviously going to be the horse to beat, likely be overbet, and you're going to get 2 to 3 to 5 on I Want a Duster, especially with the connections. And I don't know, I don't love her sprinting, but obviously at this level, you got to respect her when she's down for 4 Gs. As you mentioned, a former stakes winner. So I got her in for 2nd, but it wouldn't be surprised to see her win by 10 lengths. And I put the 5-horse, the Kula Kid, in for 3rd. Speedy horse that needs the head end, and perhaps will get it this time, but didn't get it last time, and she suffered because of it. But I like That's the Spirit. I think this horse will run well. I went 2, 4, and 5 in Saturday's 2nd race. On to the 3rd, $8,000 condition claimers, going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 5-horse, He's Junior. Dropping from Allowance Company, I got impeded badly by. I'm trying to think. It was After the Conflict was the horse that was out there, and actually Richard. There's no disqualification, but Richard got a day for that. Richard Hamill got a day for that, impeding this horse into the first turn. I thought the horse fought on admirably, considering the horse lost position badly on the first turn. It was his first race since Turf Paradise in March, and looks like the only speed in here. I mean, I don't know who else is going to go with the horse, but Heath Jr. is going to have every opportunity to win. Gets Frank Fuentes, and I like him to win it. Put the 6th horse, Lord Calazar, had a rough trip last night. This horse was 4 wide through the entire journey and just had no luck at all. The pace wasn't fast, and they ran home pretty fast. And the race was definitely given a little more oomph to it when Leo's in the house, came back to win. There was, that was a pretty genuine field that Lord Calazar ran against last time. So if Heath Jr. isn't up to it, I like him to win it. And I put the 2 horse Deviance in for 3rd, just on the class drop. I don't know what this 3-year-old's about. He's had 2 runs this year. Has obviously disappointed in both of them, but he needs to improve. He's been freshened up a bit. Gets Mario Gutierrez, and we'll see what happens. I went 5, 6, and 2, but I do like the speedy Heath Jr.
I went with Deviance. I like the fact that he's been off for about a month. He cuts his price in half. He hasn't been the same horse this year as he was last year. But I like Mario Gutierrez, Super Mario, coming back into town.
He's got to get out there, I think. He's got to get the lead.
And I think Mario will put him in play early, and I think that he can take him a long way. The 2nd spot, I put Devon Way out of the Pedro Alvarado barn. Pedro having another strong meet. Just got beat a half length last time by Majestic Mark, who I thought was well meant at the $8,000 level. It seems to have really turned a corner coming to Pedro's barn. Broke his maiden for 5, come back for 8, and a narrow miss to, like I say, a horse that I thought was well meant in Majestic Mark. And in 3rd spot, I put Lord Calazar. The reasons you mentioned: leading rider Amadeo Perez. Barb Head's horses, as you well know,
heating up a little.
Are heating up. Her horses are running well right now. I like the switch to Amadeo Perez. And as you mentioned, that Leo's in the House race looks a lot better now.
Race.
So I went. What are my numbers again? I went through 2, 3, and 6. In the 3rd, on to the 4th, Fillies and Mares, maiden special weight. Nice little race here, and I've gone back to the Troy Taylor barn on number 3, 4 Feathers. Out of a good mare, never laid early. There is another one in the sale.
Yep.
Speaking of the sale coming up, actually it's by War Chant.
Yep.
The one I never laid early in the sale. Works are very good. 46 and 4, 59. Mario in the tack. I've seen this move plenty of times, and I'm going to pick 4 Feathers on top. The 2nd spot I went with Blended. Just ran 2nd in maiden special rate to a very quick Spirit River. Amadeo Perez sticks with Tracy McCarthy, one of my trainers at the track I always go to. She does a very good job, and I like the way her horses come into races. And the 3rd spot, I put Bubbly on Ice. 2 seconds in maiden races. Took a shot on BC Cup Day and got beat 13 lengths, but by Dosselina, Arabella's Muse, Irish Lyric, who came back and won the Sale Stakes. So Bubbly on Ice, getting back into a straight maiden race, gets united with Richard Hamill. I like the way that one looks too. I got 3, 4, and 1.
Yeah. I'm going to try the 6 horse in here. Eldorado Gold got beat a narrow margin against the boys in her last start.
She just
gets
never
against
runs,
the Phillies,
though.
but that's the disappointing part. Where has she been? What is the problem? Got 1 work and 101, and is that race that she turned in last time A, good enough to win today? B, going to resurface today? Is that kind of what kind of race?
Just kind of scared me off.
Another filly that you want to take a look at on post parade and check it out, but she's good enough to win here.
Yep.
Like she is, and she's speed, and,
she's got
I
the talent.
think she's probably the fastest of the bunch and can clear. She's a 4-year-old running against a lot of 3-year-olds, and I know it's getting later in the year where it's kind of equal now, but I like Eldorado Gold. Not a lot, but it's just a pick I'm going to make. I agree with the 3 horse, 4 Feathers, in for 2nd. Must respect the connections, good pedigree. The mare, the filly Late Affair is a half to this 4 Feathers that was very good and a very good sprinter. Good 2-year-old. Yeah. But excellent works, and you must respect the connections. And I put the 4 horse Blended in for 3rd. I did run against the boys last time. That was a good runner-up effort to Spirit River. It wasn't the strongest race in the world, but still, it was a good race considering she'd been off for a couple of months. And as you mentioned, Amadeo Perez sticks with her, and that's a good sign. She's backing against the fillies too. I went 6-3-4, pardon me, but a tough race. I didn't fall in love with it. I can see Bubbly on Ice being in the mix as well. It's a tough little race, but I went to the 6 Eldorado Gold. On to the 5th race, got some $4,000 fillies and mares going a mile and a 16th. And I guess the obvious choice is on the outside. Number 8, Medea after her runner-up effort to Maurice Glory at the same level.
Perez?
Medea Perez. Looks like the horse to beat.
Yeah.
I put the 4-horse Princess Zeta in for second. I think she'll appreciate stretching out to a mile and 16. She kind of got a wide trip last time, was running on well at the end. It was a better than looked race. It was a little wide early and was running on at the end and just ran out of real estate going 6.5. So the Connections decided to route her, and that's a good move. She worked nicely in a minute and changed. Pretty good for this caliber of horse. I put the 5-horse Le Factor Wow has been running against the boys in her last 2 starts because none of the filly and mare races, I guess, were, when she was able to run, were going. So she ended up running against the boys in her last 2 and performed admirably on both occasions. So I think those are your 3 horses. But Medaya, after her good runner-up effort to Maury's Glory, I'm going to take slightly on top. But once again, a race I don't love anyone. I went 8, 4, and 5. I could use all 3 of them in the pick 3s and pick 4s.
I did go to Le Factor Wow. I thought those were 2 good races, as you mentioned, against the boys. The last one with After Court and Ruffy Joe, who came back to 1, was not a soft spot, especially for a girl running against the boys. So I think now that she gets in against the girls, there's no really tough horses in here. I think Le Factor Wow might be able to do it, so I got her on top. I went with Medea, as you mentioned, kind of the obvious pick in here. Nice runner-up to Maury's Glory.
11 lengths back to the 3rd horse. It was a huge gap back to the 3rd horse.
Yeah, no,
those 2 were well
it was a 2-horse race. So I got Medea in the 2nd spot. In the 3rd spot, I took Honey Skila. She's been very consistent this year. Not a great race last time. I'll throw that one out and give her another shot with a young rider, Keyshawn Balgobin, who's starting to make some noise.
He's riding very well.
He's riding really well right now, so he's another guy to keep an eye on. I went 5, 8, and 2, but I do like Le Factor Wow facing the girls in the 5th. On the 6th, 2-year-old filly, maiden special weight. Nice race here. I've gone to the 7, Ambleside Park, being a bit of a homer, going with my dad's horse here. The well-bred daughter of Fusiachi Pegasus had a rough trip last time in the stake. Only got beat ahead by Steel Surprise. What worries me is the time. That it was not very fast, and that's what worries me about her. I think she has a lot of talent, but I don't know if it's going to surface. Just the time is the only thing that scares me. If that was an 18 instead of a 20, I'd say she's your winner for sure. But the time does scare me off. Got a low buyer for it too, so I'm picking her, but I'm a little bit concerned. But I do like to see Amadeo Perez stick with her, as obviously he had many other options in here. The 2nd spot, I went with Miss Hatter. Craig McPherson has 2 in here. The other one, Birdie Num Num's got a really good race in her first start. Only got beat a couple lengths by a very talented horse named Sedin. But Richard Hamill shows up on Miss Hatter, so that makes me think that this is probably the liver one.
One out of the 2.
That Craig McPherson's running. So I put Miss Hatter in the 2nd spot. Another one ran in that same race with Ambleside Park and Steel Surprise. And only got beat a length and a half. So I got Miss Hatter in 2nd. And Birdie Num Nums, the horse I mentioned previously, another one of Copper Waters and Craig McPherson's. Has no rider named it this time, but I'm still going to pick it because McPherson is hot with any rider. I'll take 7, 6, and 3 in the 6th.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little away from your... I went to the 4 Race to Wind, a filly that is a half to dance, or probably a full to Dance to Win.
Yeah, she is, because Dance was second
just
command.
Had the 1 race, got some experience going 3.5 furlongs, didn't show much, but that's all right. The race was just to get a race into her, and obviously was nowhere near as fast as Sedin and Bluegrass Angus and Birdie Num Nums, but still she was closing well. She goes on Lasix. Things have been a little more serious in her morning workouts, a series of 5/8s and then a good half in 48 and 1. And Carl Austin had a nice winner with Wonder World last week. And,
yeah, he's heating up as well.
Yes, for the Lidls, and wouldn't be surprised to see Race the Wind to get the job done. So I'm going to take that one maybe to upset maybe the 7-horse Ambleside Park, who's likely going to be your favorite, and she should be the favorite off of her runner-up effort to Steel Surprise. As you mentioned, a slow time, but still, this horse had everything go wrong. It could, it probably ran an 18 and 3.
Yeah, she got pushed out pretty wide.
And out 4 and 5 wide the whole race, and it was just a tough go, but wouldn't be surprised to see her win anyway. And I put the 1-horse Yakula in for 3rd for Mel Snow. I thought this horse was in against some toughies. Quattro Cat, Finality's Charmer, battled on the head end, succumbed to the early fractions, but still the fractions won't be anywhere near that in this race. 22 and 1, 45 and 4, that's not going to happen. Yeah. This horse will get things a little easier on the head end. So I'm going to give Yakula another shot. I don't mind playing those speed type horses that got buried by nice horses. Those are the top 2 fillies, Quattro Cat and Finale's Charmer. She's out there fighting. It's one thing to run 4th or 5th, beating 10 lengths or whatever, if you were never being in the race. But when you're out there fighting and then you get beat up a bit, it's going to muddy up your form a little bit. So she might be a pretty good price, and take a look at her. I went 4, 7, and 1. On to the 7th and final. I got some 4,000 claimers. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, going 6.5 furlongs. And I ended up on the 8-horse Steveston Lad. Really not a wide, just the horse that should be tough in here. This horse has been running against better company, and I would think with a clean trip we'll win the money. And if he doesn't win, I think the 4-horse Storm Over Sky, being reunited with Amadeo Perez, will be pretty live. This horse was a good second last time, and Keishan Belgobin rode it, but it obviously moves over to Steveston Lad, who was, on paper, I think the liver of the two. And I put the 2-horse Chester's Gold, who had lots of trouble last time and actually was disqualified, but still, this horse had a kind of a rough trip. This horse is better than his form shows, and that was his first run in a month. I think he'll be better coming back in 2 weeks. So I went 8, 4, and 2. I like Steveston Lad on the class drop, but nothing brilliant here.
I got the same horses. I went with Storm Over Sky in the first spot for Hall of Fame trainer Alan May. I like the move back to Amadeo Perez. Even though Keishan's riding very well, Amadeo has had some success on this filly in the past. This colt, sorry. So yeah, I like Storm Over Sky, estate of Jim Veach. Good to see Jimmy Veach's relatives doing well with his horses since his passing. I put Chester's Gold in the 2nd spot. I like that race last time in that Majestic Mark Cowboy Commander race. Got a good buyer for it, and I think another effort like that could put him in the mix. And Steveston Lad, as you mentioned, he's kind of the horse to beat in here. He comes out of that same race we talked about earlier, that Tough Leo's in the house race.
He's in for 4.
He's in for 4. He's probably your horse to beat. But I got the same numbers as Mike, just a little bit different order. 4, 2, and 8 in the 7th. That'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday, September 6th card. Up next on screen will be our picks. Mike, as always, you're up first.
Back in race number 1, we both agreed here on the opener. On the 4, Lady Henrietta, I went 4, 3, and 5. In the second race, I went to the 2, That's the Spirit. 2, 4, and 5 for me in the second. And the third race went to the 5, the Speedy Hees Jr. Hopefully a better trip for him. 5, 6, and 2 in the third. And the fourth race went to the 6, another Speedballer, Eldorado Gold over the 3, 4 Feathers. And the 4 Blended. I hate when they put numbers in the names. The 3, 4 Feathers, and the 4, of course I got to have the 4 Blended. The 5th race went to the 8, Medaya over the 4, Princess Zeta, and the 5, La Factor Wow. Race 6, the 4, Race the Wind for the Lytles, and Carl Austin over the 7, Ambleside Park, and the 1, Yakula. And the 7th and final, I went to the 8, Steveston Lad over the 4 and 2. 8, 4, 2 for me in the Saturday finale.
On to my picks, as Mike mentioned, I agree with him in the first on. Number 4, Lady Henrietta over the 3 and the 5. In the second, I went to the returning number 4, I Wanted Duster over the 6 and the 5. In the third, I went to the 2, Deviance over the 3 and the 6. In the fourth, I went to the 3, it almost got me there too, 4 Feathers over the 4 and the 1, yes. In the fifth, I went to the 5, La Factor Wow over the 8 and the 2. In the 6th, I went to the 7, Ambleside Park over the 6 and the 3. And then I capped the 7th, I went to the 4, Storm Over Sky over the 2 and the 8. I'm having a tough time here.
I know.
Get the marbles out of my mouth.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Handicapper's Corner. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Just a quick reminder, if you're down on the tarmac, get these nice little...
Always, yep.
It's got our selections here, just the same ones you just saw on screen. A little 2-for-1 Derby coupon on the outside here, as well as a list of all the summer specials, as
and
well
of course
as the
overnight, which is really handy
on the back, which is great.
For you guys that aren't really hardcore gamblers, it tells you the name of the horse, name of the jockey, name of the rider. It's just some basic information, the numbers obviously, that you can have some fun with without getting too in-depth and looking at a racing form.
But it's good to have, and that's available down on the tarmac. If you go down and have your favorite beverage there at the beer stands or any of the stands down on the main level, we'll have those sheets, and obviously they're absolutely free, so take advantage of it.
You cannot charge for our picks.
No. On that note, on behalf of Drew, thank you very much for tuning into this edition of Handicapper's Corner. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.
The great grandfather was equipoise. I told you Paul Revere.